Welcome to another episode of Neverendingpanel.com. Tonight's guests are Michelle Pincus to my left, Eitan Collin, who apparently claims to be my brother, Charles Lee Jackson II. Tonight's topics are, what are the top 10 gadgets of all time? Second, we have a new series called In Defense Of, and this week it's going to be Speed Racer. Speed Racer, the movie sucked, opinion or fact? And number 3 is going to be best death scenes in science fiction, fantasy, movies, or TV. Just to let you know, coming up, our next episode next week is going to be all Doctor Who. 47 years old, why has it survived? If you controlled the TARDIS, where would you go? And if you could choose, would you be the Doctor, a companion, or a villain? I also want to tell you that Eitan and I were guest panelists last week at BosCon in the beautiful city of Boston, and we have spot interviews coming up with, among others, Werner Vinge, Charlie Strauss, Carl Schroeder. Very interesting interview with Darlene Marshall, a romance writer, talking about sex scenes in science fiction books. They need to be improved, apparently.
Don't forget Miss Snodgrass.
Melinda Snodgrass, and I'll probably get her title incorrect, but I believe she was the head writer of New Generations, head script writer.
She was... Oh, good Lord.
It doesn't matter. Let's move on to our
Generation.
panel. Next Generation.
I can't believe you got that wrong.
What's that?
You write science fiction, you got Next Generation wrong. I just find that incomprehensible.
Well,
but let's
because
go.
That's the
let's,
whole
no, we got things to do.
It's
and
the
we'll
advertising copywriter
we'll
thing
just,
who
we'll
became
just
a
let
science
it go.
fiction
No,
author.
let's just
no,
forget
but let's
that.
make it about us, right? Not about the panel or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Precious
just
minutes
move on.
wasting away.
Yeah, I agree. So this
All right.
All right.
Thank you, our executive producer. And, of course, soundman Tim and cameraman Frank. I'm sorry I forgot to introduce you. You got to remind me every now and say, yo, Bonehead, I'm here too.
Yo, Bonehead, I'm here too.
Thank you very much. Okay, so
Can't
top 10
believe you
gadgets
forgot.
of all time. I can tell you, and I've been on a panel similar to this. Wired Magazine picked their 10. I'm not going to name what they are, but I'm just curious, and they have their reasons. I'm just curious from the panelists themselves what they think the top 10 gadgets of all time. And you don't have to do it in any order. You could just start with what you think was a killer gadget and why it would make the list. Anyone can pick, anyone can go.
I would say the wristwatch was a really cool gadget that was pretty darn transformative. So I'd have to go with the wristwatch. Just things were like it were starting to appear, but World War I came along, and it just really got evolved. They're putting it on the wrist so they can kill each other more easily, assuming that they didn't get their arms blown off. And then it was such a good idea that, like many things in war, they just kept on going with it, and it just made time a permanent part of us.
Right.
And nothing really killed the wristwatch until, of course, everyone started wearing cell phones and
Right.
stopped
So
wearing
interestingly enough, the wristwatch, anybody under 30 years old no longer or barely wears them, and now they go with the phones. But okay, any other concepts, gadgets of all time? Tim, Soundman Tim.
The home video game system, Nolan Bushnell's, and for that matter, arcade games in general, both the invention of Mr. Nolan Bushnell. Arguably, the home video game system might have been invented by Ralph Baer, who worked for Magnavox, and the Odyssey was actually the first TV game.
I think gadget's got to be something that you can carry with you. No, it doesn't.
According to Wired Magazine, Soundman Tim is correct. Number 7 was the Atari 2600 video computer system, which came out in 1977.
Yay!
It's a gadget?
Yep.
All right. I don't
I
really
just
agree
say
with
Wired
that.
Magazine did it extensively, and they agree with Soundman Tim.
I'm saying that I don't agree with Wired Magazine or Soundman Tim.
But you have to.
No.
Okay. Go ahead, Michelle. You seem to have an opinion.
Yes.
Okay, next, Charles. No, go ahead.
Please stop doing that. You do that to me every time I'm on this panel.
You're allowed to hit me. Oh! Do that again. No, go ahead.
What you do to me,
Okay.
Stop doing that to Michelle.
All right. So
Alrighty.
I'm really fond of the cell phone. I remember I used to wear the wristwatch because I used to be on the bus. And I remember my manicurist laughing at me because whenever I take the wristwatch off to get the massage, I had the little, you could see exactly where I wore my wristwatch. Once I got a cell phone, it was great. I never had to carry a wristwatch again.
So let me just get this straight.
By the way,
cell phone is not useful because it gives you instantaneous communication around the entire planet at a moment's notice, thereby making sure that you are in contact with all of humanity at all times for the rest of your existence. It's so that you don't have the band on your wrist.
No, it's my communicator. I have the
Oh, okay.
Yes,
right. And by the way, Wired Magazine agrees. Ding, 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 ding. Number 10, Motorola Star Tech cell phone was one of the all-time tech gadgets. Marty.
Actually, the base of almost all the stuff was the home computer. Not the laptop, but the desktop, because it can do things with it.
Ding, 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 ding. Number 9 on the Wired Magazine Top 10 Gadgets of All Time. The IBM 5150 came out in 1980. It's the first real desktop. So you are correct. Well, not that you're correct, but your opinion has been validated by a major magazine. I don't know if that's good or bad. According to Eitan, it doesn't matter.
I could care less what
He could care less.
Wired magazine thinks.
Charles, we're waiting to hear from you.
Yes, well, I'm going to have to go with the cartridge. The
That's the one in the pear tree?
that's the
Cartridge
thing, yes.
in a
the
pear
small
tree?
brass tube
Where's the
into
log?
which you stick a bunch of gunpowder, a little powdered oxygen, and a lead pellet. You put it into a device, and you can
Would that-
persuade people from a distance.
Would that be a bullet?
That would no, it's a cartridge. A bullet is only the lead thing at the end.
Oh, I see. So,
cartridge
in
is
other
the-
words, once you went to the cartridge system, you can.
Yes,
It's
you
almost
didn't
like
have
what
to-
Gatling did for the Civil War.
Yes, you no longer had to prime your weapon, load it with gunpowder, wadding, use the rod, set the flint, set the lock.
And speaking
full
of
thing.
setting the flint and the lock, Arlene Satin.
The laser, because not only
That's a
is
gadget?
the laser a new way of removing tumors without damaging surrounding tissues, but it is also used for the reduction of fat in your body.
I'm going to say that's a cool, and we should probably do a panel on that. Miss Executive Producer, like really cool scientific things. I don't know if that would be a gadget until it becomes like a lightsaber laser thingy gadget.
No, according
Yeah,
to you,
I
it's
have-
the size
I-
of a.
An Atari playset? No, that's like something you
have
can schlep
a-
around. A
I-
laser? I'd like to see you schlep one of those around to like remove
I
Well-
tumors.
Well, I have a green laser that I can actually point out stars with.
Right. Well, you could just like right here.
Yes.
You could point to both.
No,
you
I'm
know.
talking the-
Oh, those stars. Hair.
Yeah, well,
Forgive the egotism of my brother. He does what he does.
Something that has a cell phone in it and has a whole lot of other gadgets in it is the Palm Top, which came from the desktop, the Palm Top computer, more than just the plain.
I agree. It was the first thing that really made the ability for you to collect a lot of information in one place and, and then download it and update it terrific. Let me read, because we only have about a minute left. I'll just read through Wired's top 10 list from number 10 all the way down, and then we'll have like 30 seconds or 10 seconds
Wow,
left
you're
to comment.
just
You'll
totally
have to
into
hold on.
Wired.
We only have a few minutes.
Go.
Arlene gave me the word.
Okay, go.
You want to fight with her?
No,
I don't want to
that's
fight with
okay.
her. Number 10 was the Motorola StarTech cell phone. Number 9, the IBM 5150. Good one, Marty. Sony Walkman, 1979. The Atari 2600 was number 7, 1977. The Sony Betamax should have won, but the JVC HR 3300 VCR did win, and that
VHS.
one, that VHS became, yes, you're right, became ubiquitous. Number 5, they just said the microwave. Number 4, Bell & Howell Director Series 4141 8mm movie camera. It was the first you can walk around and take your own movie and become your own director. Number 3, Kodak Browning camera, which came out in 1953. The Kodak Browning 127. It was the first time that everybody had a pocket-sized camera in their hands. Number 2, Western Electric desk telephone. That came out in 1949. And then, of course, number 1 for them was the television, the RCA 63TS, 630TS. It came out in 1946. That's their list. Soundman Tim, it looked like you had something to say in our last 30 seconds.
The music synthesizer, I think, is a really great gadget.
Yes, and
If you
Rick
think-
Wakeman of Yes would agree with you, I would say.
If you think that we left something out, which I'm sure we did, please feel free to add a comment below here, or there, somewhere, maybe kind of in that general area.
The slicer dicer.
Might be above.
It slices, dices, and
Yeah,
juliennes.
slicer,
Camera
dices,
Frank, we
julienne,
are.
so-
You got to make it quick.
The hand calculator.
Ooh.
And with that, we got to go.
Good one. And I remember making shell oil upside
What
down
part
with the
of it we
letters and
gotta
everything
go?
like that.
Yes.
Okay, we've got to go.
Yeah, we just
Sorry,
gotta
you're
go.
right. Okay. Here's where we pause conspicuously so that we can make a break for the next thing.